Hey guys, today we're going to be looking at a Stihl MS 500i fuel injected chainsaw. The customer recently purchased this a few months ago and accidentally ran it over with a piece of equipment. So we're going to tear it apart, see what it needs, and get it replaced and back out in the field. So most of the parts that look to need to be replaced are going to be your two shrouds on top, as well as your air filter cleaner, your mount for your air filter cleaner, the hand guard brake system, and then the wrap handle that's on there. This shutter had a little bit of damage on it, so I went ahead and replaced this too. Don't want to have an issue with the airflow going into the chainsaw. Normally these handles are pretty easy to replace. You've got two screws underneath. You've got three screws on the side, plus the one on the motor mount. They usually come right off. This particular one obviously is smashed from the top. The handle is compressed on both sides, making it really hard to get off the top. So what I had to do is I had to take the shroud off the top, as well as the AV motor mount, that spring that's on the side that mounts to the motor, so that way I could get enough clearance to go ahead and get that handle off once I got everything freed up. I did have to pull on the handle and bend it outwards a little bit to get more of that clearance. Just make sure you're being really careful when you're doing this, because there's a lot of plastic parts that are on this saw and you don't want to end up accidentally snapping something by mistake. I guess I could have cut the handle off. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't damaging anything else. And usually, like I said, these things come right off, but I just had the thing bent so bad that I had to take a few extra parts off to be able to get it to free up. Since there's so much damage on this saw, I figured just taking off the shroud and all the extra parts were good. That way I could do a visual inspection to see what else was damaged underneath there. I did find the spark plug was crushed, so I did have to pull that out of the boot. The spark plug boot did have a hole in it from the spark plug getting broke off and pushing up through there. It wasn't significant enough where I decided I didn't need to replace that. So what I did is I went ahead and checked to make sure that the contact spring was still connected to the coil, and that was, so I was able to push everything back into place and reuse that ignition coil without having to replace it. So one of the hard things about doing saws that are damaged like this, you really just have to fix all the visually broken things first before you can actually get the saw to start and see if there's any function in that saw, or you have to dig deeper in there to find out if there's more stuff you have to troubleshoot. So the handguard chain brake was actually cracked. I'm going to go ahead and replace that as well. Make sure to tune in for part 2, and I'll show you how to replace the handguard on the Stihl MS 500i chainsaw.